Hey y'all, starting out with this video, I'm sorry it's a little wobbly, but starting out with this video, if you hear the dog barking, it's my mom's dog. So, you can probably hear him loud and clear. He's a big black lab, and so he just likes to be nosy, and, you know, he doesn't like any noise. So, he's in the yard, and he's barking. So, I was trying to figure out which video I wanted to do first, because I have 3 videos planned. I have a what's in my purse video planned. I have my pregnancy from Cooper planned video, and then the birth video planned, just explaining everything that went on with my pregnancy and birth, and that's going to be 2 separate videos. And then I wanted to do a few other videos. I'm sorry, I'm sitting on Cooper's bed. He's asleep in my bed. And then I had this video planned that I wanted to do about why we didn't get to move in my dad's house, which we did for a few days. But I guess let's go ahead and jump in, because it's going to be a pretty long story, and y'all are going to just say, y'all are going to be like shocked at how the story ended. And my dad's always been like this. I will just say this as a disclaimer, it is not unexpected from him. I guess I had high hopes, and my hopes did not go as I expected. And Nick told me this was going to happen, and just me in my head, I was like, no, it's not going to happen. He's a good man, you know, it's my dad. My dad didn't do that, you know, and then it happened. So, needless to say, Nick was right, and this is where we're at, saving to buy our own house. So, yeah, so I guess we'll start off with before Nick got home, which was, I can't even remember the days. So let's say he was coming home that Thursday. Yeah, he was coming home that Thursday, because he was home the week before, that weekend. He left that Monday night, and he was coming home 3 days later because he had came in from the hurricane. And we were out of power for 3 days, so he didn't have to leave till Monday night. So he was only gone 3 nights for work. So that Sunday that he was home, we got a call from my dad, I think it was Saturday actually, that he wanted to give us the house, or at least let us stay in it for a year or 2 to save up and get a home. And so we were like, okay, well, we'll talk about it, you know. And so we eventually, I'm not even going to get into all that, we decided to move, you know, and just go ahead and go through with it. So obviously Nick had to let the landlord know that we were moving out, and that we were going to be out within a week or however long, and we told we would be out within a week. We took the whole weekend when he came home to move. So backtracking, once he left that Monday, that next morning at like real early in the morning, about 7 o'clock, because Cooper's dad had him all week while Nick was gone. So I had a whole week to do what I needed to do until that Thursday that Nick was going to be home. So I went ahead and moved a few things just to the main house that Tuesday, because I still had to drop Cooper off that day. So I left about 7, and we ran some errands and waiting on my uncle to bring me the keys, because my dad works offshore in Thailand. And so I went and met my uncle for the keys, and, you know, everything went with that. I got into the house, everything was fine. So yeah, my dad, we were just interacting the first day or 2, and, you know, nothing seemed odd, and so we just kept on continuing what we were going to do. So let's just say that Thursday, Nick got home, and then that Friday, we just kind of took it easy. We went and got a few groceries and picked up Cooper, and that next day, we moved. We moved Saturday morning. All of our stuff, we moved. We had 1 truckload left to make, but that was about it. But Saturday, we had some friends from our old house that lived like the road down from us. They helped us move into our new house, which was supposed to be my dad's house. We paid them to come and help us move. They stayed overnight with us because we had a spare bedroom at that house. So they stayed with us and everything. We brought them back the next morning because we had our vehicles, which I left my car at the house, and then we took Nick's truck and the move-in truck because we rented a U-Haul, and so it was one of the drivable ones. So we had 2 vehicles. So, you know, I sat with Nick in one of the vehicles, and my friend and her husband, and Nick's friend, his wife, so forth, sat in the vehicle together. And so we were both just separate, you know, and so we made it back to the house, and we just had a good time. I mean, just visited, watched a few movies, cooked, and, you know, what normal adults do. And it was also Nick's birthday weekend. We celebrated it early because he wasn't going to be home for his birthday, which was October 29th. So we celebrated it the weekend he was home. And we went, we got ready. We dropped our friends back off at their house, which was an hour out of the way. We got a few more things left that we had to move. And then, so we was like, we don't have time. We have like 2 hours to be at the party, because we had not just his birthday. We had my aunt's birthday, my uncle's birthday, and then also a cousin's birthday. So there was 4 birthdays all in one day. And if you saw my last video, and it was called It's Time, I announced who Nick was. So if you want to go back and look at that video, you can. But there's pictures of me in a jumper that's black and white, and that was from the birthday party. So if you want to see that, you can go back and look at that video. It's just a picture slideshow and a little bit of an intro at the beginning. But backtrack. We had his birthday weekend that weekend. At the party, because my dad is a divorce from my mom's remarried. At the party, I think it was that day. No, it wasn't that day. So let's just say the party. Everything went good with the party. Yeah, everything went good with the party. We went home that night. My brother stayed. They went squirrel hunting the next morning, Nick and my brother. Mom's son. My brother, obviously. And it's my stepdad's son as well. So I'm the only child to my dad. He was remarried but never had any kids. And then he got divorced from that wife as well. So yeah. So we're there. After they got back from squirrel hunting, before they got back, or right when they were getting back, I got a call from my dad, which he normally wasn't up at a normal time, you know, and he was like, just make sure the house is clean, you know. I was like, yeah, we were only been here 2 days, you know, not even 2 days. It's not a mess. Things are just bagged up because we just moved in. We haven't even had time to unpack. So, yeah. So then we didn't catch anything squirrel hunting. So we decided to go to my grandma's because Cooper had stayed with my grandma the night of the birthday party, which the next morning we went and picked Cooper up after they left squirrel hunting. My grandma has a lot of land, so we figured we could just go hunting on her land that night and just eat dinner over there. I would bring something, you know, and we could cook. And so while Nick and my brother were squirrel hunting at my grandma's, so we just postponed to that night. While we were over there, because we left and came back, I started getting texts from my dad saying that the house was just some huge wreck. You know, somebody went through the house with all the doors locked. Somebody went in the house, took pictures of everything that we had, scattered stuff out of the bags to make it look like that we were trashy people, which y'all know I am not a trashy person by any means. Or at least I would think y'all know that. You know, you don't know my whole life, but I mean, I am not a trashy person. And I may not be perfect, because nobody is perfect, but I am by far not a trashy person. I don't like drama, which I like my house to be clean. Nick's the same way, but we only had 2 days to move in. So I started getting pictures saying that you need to take care of my house and this and that, and it just got really ugly. I'm not even going to get into all of it. But, yeah. And so I was just like, we've only had 2 days, and, you know, I'm not dealing with this. Who came into the house? He would not tell me who came into the house. So we assumed it was my uncle, because the night that our friends were over, he came over and was just, oh, I'm the uncle, you know, and you're the boyfriend, and, you know, so he was just trying to be all mighty and this and that, showing off. And so we thought it was him that went through the house, and it turned out to be, after we moved out and everything, that it was not him, or at least we were told it was not him, that it was a couple that my dad was really close with. So we really don't honestly know who did it, who went through and took pictures, which by one in Louisiana, and I'm sure it is in many other states, basically we were renting a house. We had written permission from my dad through text messages saying that we were allowed to stay in the house. So we stayed in the house. When anybody, even, and he was supposed to be, my uncle was supposed to be the overseer of the property, and we did not know. It does not matter whether or not he was the overseer, which would be like a landlord. He went into a house without letting the renters know, which would be us, that he was going in. In Louisiana, you have to let your renters know that you were going into the house. Within, I think, 48 hours, we were never told anything. And even if it wasn't him, it was the other couple, and that's breaking and entering. It's the same thing. So, I mean, in either way, whoever did it was in the wrong. So, yeah, they went in, and so we just got really ugly, and I told my dad, I said, I'm not putting up with this, you know, we'll be out. We'll be out within a month. Because I was expecting to have to go and find a house and this and that. So we come back to my parents' house because I can't remember. Oh yeah, we had to drop my brother off because he had to go to school the next morning. He's only in junior high still, so we had to drop him off here at my mom's to go to school the next morning. So as soon as my mom and stepdad walked out of the house, they saw I was mad, like livid. They just seen my face. Like, that's my parents. They know that's my face when I am mad and livid and just about to tear somebody up. I am mad, you know, and they could tell. And they're like, what's wrong with you? I said, nothing. So they were like, you're lying. And so I just told them the whole story. And they pretty much offered us the camper for a year to save up and to move. So by May, we will hopefully be in our own house. So yeah, while we save up. And I'm working at a day school here, which I'm really loving it. Nick's still doing the same job. My grandma's keeping Cooper during the day. So, I mean, it's really worked out in our favor, and God has blessed us very much. So yeah. So, the night we came over to tell my parents about what happened, we really didn't plan on telling them, but we did, and it worked out, luckily, because, like I said, I was planning on having to go and rent somewhere, you know, and luckily we did not have to do that, because our landlord had already rented out the house to the next people within 2 days. Kind of sketchy, but, yeah. So, yeah. So, my parents were like, well, if your uncle shows up, just don't open the doors, call the police, whatever you have to do, leave, you know, it doesn't matter. And so we were like, okay, we will do it, you know, we'll go stay at the house. We wanted just to make sure our stuff was okay. Nick was determined, he wanted to go and stay in that house till the next morning because we had already talked it out. The next morning, we were having friends come and my stepdad come because my mom had to work, my brother had to go to school. They were all coming to help us move stuff, which was what we did. We moved all the next day. It took us one load. We had 2 trailers and 4 vehicles loaded down with stuff to move out of that house. We were done. We were just so mad and aggravated. And so, that's what they did. But, the night we went, I slept all night. Nick said he was up all night. I can't know that because I wasn't up, but I believe him. If he said he's up, he's up. I mean, he is a very light sleeper. He's a very early bird. He's usually up by 8 o'clock every morning. And now a very deep sleeper, so if any noise, I won't even hear it. So yeah. So, the next morning, about 7 o'clock, Nick said he was just around the house. He had a feeling that my uncle was going to show up because he had called my uncle the night before. My uncle showed up and they got into a big argument. I'm not going to state everything that went down because it is not YouTube approved. So, we're just going to say that. So, I stayed in the house. Cooper was not with us. My grandma kept him another night, you know, and luckily Cooper was not with us. The cops ended up showing up. And my dad pretty much stated to the cops that he wanted us out. And the cops pretty much took our side that you have to give them a certain amount of days. We said, don't worry about the days. We will be out by Sunday. We're just tired and done. After that, I sent my dad, after we had moved out, we had to do a video of the house just showing that it was clean and everything because he said he would press charges if it was not clean. Yes, coming from my dad. And so once we moved out, I sent my dad, we rented a storage locker as well to put all our extra stuff in. But as soon as we moved out, I sent my dad an ugly message. It was probably not the best thing to do, but that's how I felt at the time, and it is what it is. And I'm not going to go into details about that. Last thing that happened our storage locker got broken into, and all of our valuables like TVs and PlayStations and air conditioners and things like that got stolen, and there were no cameras. We did not know. So that's pretty much the story. So I hope you guys enjoyed this story, whether or not you enjoyed it or not. Hope you enjoyed sitting down and listening to me for a little while, and I didn't bore you or make you angry. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you appreciated me being honest, I guess. Not that you liked the video at all. Please don't give me a thumbs down, because it makes me know that you've enjoyed this content, and, you know, I'll continue to film for y'all. And subscribe if you have not been here before. I promise this channel is not filled with drama, but everybody has been very curious as to what has happened, and I am just putting it out here for y'all because you are part of my family, and that's how I see it. So I hope you guys have a good evening, night, morning, whatever it is for you, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.